Hi, guys. Let's talk about your awakening journey and how that relates to your recovery from different addictions, whether it's codependency, alcoholism, or uh, codependency, alcoholism, or addiction. This can also relate to you probably have a depression and anxiety or bipolar disorder, like that it also interferes with the symptoms of different addictions because it's usually what's covering it up. My name is Lakshmi. I go by Lox or Goldilocks. Um, so, welcome to this channel. What I would like to talk about is taking you further than the addiction, alcoholism, codependency, and depression, anxiety, and release from that into self actualization and all that life has to offer. Making your leap from the dark night of the soul, which you're probably in or were in and are recovering from it, and into like leapfrogging and letting that kind of springboard you into the life of your dreams and your awakening, because that's really what we're talking about. Yes, there is a difference between psychological and spiritual aspects, but actually, um, they converge on a lot of levels. So that's my finding, and I am a therapist, and so I'm also a spiritual coach and a recovery coach. If you have problems in these areas, let me know. But let's get into it. So one of the things is like why do I want to recover? Why am I so, you know, why do I need to recover? Hopefully you're doing this for yourself. You can do it for your children, because your parents want you to, because you work told you to. However, you really need to do it because you want a better life. And what does that life include? It includes like abundance in all areas of your life. So, for instance, like your financial success, you're loving what you do in life, things that you want to do, you want to go to work, you want to work on these things, but you want to be abundant and not necessarily depend on those other things. Maybe that's the case. So it's a big ball of wax that we have to kind of, or like a big ball of yarn, like we have to unravel it and look at each part and get the knots out of our life, if you will. Because there's lots of things, like we can be born into a toxic society, toxic family, toxic system, toxic work that encourages us to kind of sign over our sovereignty. We also want to know one of the most sought after kind of desires in life is love. So, how do I have loving relationships, and how do I stop attracting toxic situations and being attracted to toxic situations? Or how do I come back to myself and love myself enough not to allow myself to engage with people that are going to be toxic with me, and or just set boundaries with people, and internal boundaries, excuse me. So internal boundaries that I set with myself, or so that I don't engage with situations that are going to drain me, that are going to take my energy away. However, what I find in a lot of situations with people, if you're addicted to substances, a lot of times that is, you're going to fall more into the um, fearful attachment or dismissive avoidant attachment style. That's what I find in the substance addicted community. That means that you can tend to create problems where there weren't problems, in pushing people away or being distrustful, not wanting to engage, feeling like love is only there to entrap you, if you will, or to take your freedom and your sovereignty. That's a big problem. So we're looking at how to figure out those situations so that we can have the love that we want, because even dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance are, they want love. They're not narcissists, which they often can be confused with. So that's another topic. If you'd like to hear more about that, please let me know in the comments. We'll get into a discussion about fearful avoidance, which is disorganized attachment style, and dismissive avoidant attachment styles, and also the anxious preoccupied attachment style, which is, they're known as the one that is chasing the other person. So one pushes away, one chases. So with people with substance use, you'll often have a codependent person who is, that you love, but is pressing you for things you don't feel like you can give, let's say. And that you may try to avoid and create problems with inadvertently because you're not communicating well. The dismissive avoidant or the fearful avoidant is not communicating well, and the other person gets triggered and chases more. So these are some of the things we're going to talk about. If you want some more help with that, these ideas, I'm particularly focused around people who are recovering and want to who want to self-actualize, not just to give up substances, but who are wanting to go beyond that. You do need, awakening is not an easy process. Recovery is not an easy process. I do have some things I'm working on with 12 steps, a type of 12-step program that is different from traditional 12-step programs. It's more of a modern language and doesn't, anyway. If you want more information on that, please, you can go to my website, lakshmianand.com, and it's going to be on there. But sign up for my newsletter, and so we can stay in touch and you be alerted to things that are happening. I also do recovery coaching, and I will be doing group coaching. You can sign up. And I also will do individual coaching. Anyway, if you would please like, share, subscribe, comment on what you would like to know more about so I can get this channel started. Please hype this information, this channel, because I've got many years experience and I'm a master level addiction professional. That means that I can talk to pretty much to friends and family of people that are recovering, and also, which is the term I like to use, and the people that are recovering themselves. So we can we can work on all those issues, on how to come out of it in a more, and be in a more beautiful place in life that justifies the reason for recovery. Anyway, have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Bless.